City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Special beyond special.
Best player in the Premier League.
Captain Marvel. Drogba! Rooney! Oh, wonderful! That is one Derby Diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs, episode 29. A repeat of last week's episode. Shadman is back with us, obviously, to preview the City and Real Madrid second leg, which we will get to at the end of the episode. But before that, we'll start with United, as they dropped to 15th, as they lost 1-0 to Spurs, which is pretty impressive. We'll then talk about Chelsea, who have officially dropped out of the top four spots, and outside of the UCL spots, as they're now in 6th. As they lost twice to Brighton in the last week. We will then jump back to City before going over the preview, as they finally found some spark through Marmoush, as he had a hat-trick, and they smacked up Newcastle. So let's jump into it. I don't really want to start by talking about United, so I'll let you guys start first, and then I'll give my thoughts, and we can go from there.
I really just can't believe it was one goal scored in that game. That was my only thought, was it'll be like 5. I don't know which team's scoring what, but yeah, 1-0. That was really my main thoughts. If anyone else had anything,
I think it was pretty much the same. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
unfortunately, I did.
Seen there was chances.
Yeah,
and I saw Vicario got man of the match on some of the platforms, so the goalkeepers did a good job to keep it at 1-0.
Yeah,
two struggling teams. It's the best you can ask for, I guess.
Yeah, to your point, there were chances for both teams because both teams are just so poor, for lack of a better word. They do concede chances. So United were getting theirs. Honestly, the whole first half, it feels like, was pretty even in terms of the chances. It's just Spurs put one away. Again, it was a pretty cheap goal too to concede. You would have thought it was the first of many, but it being the only one was, again, just the most shocking part for me. But yeah, both teams had their chances.
There's one statistic that I saw that caught my eye. Bruno lost the ball 28 times. And he was United's best player.
He did have a bad game. He did.
28 times is, like, as a creative player, I could see you lose the ball 20 times on like a bad day where it's just not, connecting. But 28 times against Tottenham is very questionable.
Bruno's like the least of my issues. Like that number.
No, of course.
That number doesn't shock me because I hear it like once a week. Because he that's just what he does. And the role that he's currently playing, like,
he's
not
still
shocked.
The best player on the field.
I'm not shocked. I'm surprised he didn't lose it 50 times based off of how much running he had to fucking do for Casemiro and for C.O.C. Those two fucking... Oh, man. They're shite. And, like, he's being asked to be God. Like, if Bruno doesn't put in a shift and it's, like, not above a 9, like, United's not getting results.
Fair.
I really don't know. They're just it's a funny test case to how much United fans like torture, because like
it feels like a case study at this point. Because we didn't mention it yet, but you guys don't have a game for 9 days. You would think, it's time to train. The new manager can implement some of his philosophies. 3 players going down. 3 players going down is insane.
2 important players.
One of them is the most important player in terms of I was talking about it last episode. They have 4 attacking options. Now, in my opinion, I thought that Højlund or C.O.C. or Garnacho would be the odd man out there. I didn't think the most important attacking player was going to be done for the year.
Yeah, it's just even worse.
On a tackle where apparently his foot got stuck in the turf. Like, just freak stuff.
Wait, what happened to him?
Apparently, he went in for...
Like, what was the injury?
He went in for a tackle, and his foot got stuck in the turf, and he twisted his ankle. And he's already had ankle problems, and that was it.
Damn, that might be the death blow.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, so he's done for the year. Mainu is essentially done for the year. I heard it's 6 weeks, so that's pretty close to the end of the year.
Is Ugarte hurt?
Him and Collier missed for whatever reason. There wasn't like a specific
They
reason.
were the minor ones.
And we
Okay.
don't know for how long. So
Right.
that's why we got Casemiro. And that's why there was a bench full of 14-year-olds.
Oh, that bench was hilarious. Just Lindelof and Regens.
Yeah, so I
How
think
Madrid's bench is looking.
yeah, it's fucking rough, dude. I mean, we went through this injury crisis last year. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be a twice over thing. It hit us in a week where we didn't have any games, which is fucking great. So for that reason, I don't really have any enjoyment talking about United. I don't really know. I was already saying I don't really know where they go from here, and Europa League was the only out. That looks like a fucking dream at this point. It was already a pipe dream. Now it's even further, wherever past pipe dream
that
is.
would be tough.
So I don't really know.
What are the point standings though? How far off
for
Europa League?
They're in the next round.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
straight
thinking. I
around
was
the
thinking
16.
about making next year.
Oh, no. I'm saying
They have to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, it was like 14
Win
points.
Europa, yeah.
Or the FA Cup. Or no, did you guys get bounced?
no, we're still in the FA Cup.
they're
But
still-
they're going to have to
They're
win
playing
a
Fulham,
tournament.
bro.
They're going to have to
I
win a
think they're-
tournament.
They're out.
And they don't have any goal scorers, so it's a pipe dream. So from now on, I think the only time we really need to talk over than just like an overarching point with United, because we're watching the same game and Amram's not changing his system, and there's no need to, because that's what he has to do to get through this period and hope that they don't get relegated, is if there is a bright spot to talk about that is very slim. Right? Like,
Dude.
I don't need to talk about this game. It wasn't different. It wasn't different than any of the other games. If you guys wanted to talk about him not bringing on a bunch of 14-year-olds, we can talk about it. I didn't think it would. I think it's getting blown out of proportion. Like, I don't think that he chose to bring a bunch of 17, 18-year-olds and was like, let me throw out a bunch of these guys. Like, ooh, what are we talking about? This is the worst United team in history, and you want to just throw them out at one of the worst junctions in the teams? Like,
Yeah, that's a horrible idea.
You're going to destroy them, and people are losing their
I was
minds.
actually going to say that the only bright side might be that Manu and Ahmad get to not get sucked into this disgusting end to the season that it looks like United's going to have, and they could just come back fresh next year. Forgetting that's the only
that might
bright
be the
spot
silver lining, because before they got hurt, winning that Europa and getting Europe was it was pipe dream. So if they hadn't got it and they were in the team and they didn't do well, they would have got shat on just like every other young United player has gotten shat on in the past. So I 100% agree. From the game, I guess the only things that I got was missed chances. Again, if we go back, we're in episode 29, which is crazy, but if we go back to episode 4, when the season started, I was saying this team doesn't put away chances and they're toothless, and then I watched Garnacho miss another big chance. Which is
we're gonna go back in for him. We're gonna probably go back in.
No, you guys should. You guys should give us all the money.
That's who we were trying to get in January.
I saw some stat. It was he has missed 14 big chances this season. Or no, sorry. He's had 14. He's made only 2 of the 14, which is not a very good statistic. It's not a very good number. So
he'd fit right in. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah. That miss almost made me crash out.
I saw that one.
I was close, dude. I was close, man.
Yeah, I think you make a good point, though, Dylan. With United, we tend to have very similar conversations, and we try to regurgitate a point we made the week before with some different words. But yeah, unless anything changes or there's something different, like a different observation that needs to be made, yeah, I'm with you there. We don't need to speak too much on United. I feel like everything, all of our grievances, all the causes, I feel like we've covered it multiple times at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to focus on the youth players, and that includes Dorgu, who I thought was really good.
The wingbacks,
the one player that actually is built for this system, looked good. What a surprise! And if United fans aren't looking at that and going, "Oh, you just give this guy the fucking keys and give him the players that he needs," maybe it'll work. Yeah.
Yeah, the Emram out talk stuff is absurd.
It's ludicrous, isn't
it? Okay, I agree. I understand that the fairy tale expectation is that this guy's going to come in after doing really well for Sporting and he's just going to change things around. But like to come into that United team, which was dealing with the injuries, lack of confidence, and years of just horrible structure, and like it's not realistic. It's not gonna just change overnight. Like the team, it's gonna take time, and the fans need to give them time without the pressure, because the pressure is just gonna break them at this point. They're already like there's already been cracks in my like there's like in the like just human nature of the players. Like there's cracks, and if it keeps like not like if things don't get better and the pressure is just consistently staying the same, especially with the new manager, like they'll crack.
Yeah, you're starting to see it. It's weighing on all of them, dude. Losing doesn't fix anything, and at a club like United, winning matters, and they just haven't been able to figure out the. I like to use the expression that don't mistake bad process with good results. This is the exact opposite. Don't mistake bad results with good process. And look, they created chances. They very well could have won or drew that game. It was just a shit game, and they didn't convert chances. Like it's not like the formation was the issue. It's not like if he had made those subs, like we don't know if they would have actually fixed anything. Maybe they would have had a little extra legs in the midfield. Maybe in a 1-1 draw to Spurs. Are we changing our opinion on how that feels as a United team? No. And these young guys are going to play because it's an injury crisis now. They're going to play. There's way too many games for the rest of the season for them not to play and for them not to use the players that they've got that are healthy. So, yeah, for United, for me, I think your points on Amram are great. You got to give him time, and you got to let him see what he does at the end of the season because they didn't back him in the winter, so you got to let him have at least one window. I guess my question that I would pose to you guys is there any manager on planet Earth that could come in and fix this United team?
No.
Yeah. So
No.
who are we fooling? Who are we fooling?
There's probably someone. Like, let's be honest. There's someone in the world that can
some
fix
guy
it.
that has like 4 months of FM experience.
We don't know.
We don't know, and also
there's a guy. There's a guy out there if they look hard enough.
If the fan base keeps asking for the guy to get sacked, I don't know what they're asking for at this point. If you keep sacking these guys like this, you're not getting better managers after that. You're getting someone who's going to want to take the job. And you're lucky that you have Amarim, who is a gifted manager that can build something out of this right now. But if you sack him off, where are we going from there?
I don't even know what manager could come in because they don't work in a 3-back, they don't work in a 5-back, they don't work in a 4-2-3-1, they don't work in a 4-4 or 4-3-3, they don't work in a 4-4-2.
I think there's I don't think the manager at this point is an issue. I think there needs to be like an overhaul of the players. Like I think getting like Rashford out was a good start. Not that he's a bad player, but he's just part of like a losing generation of United players, and there has to be like a bunch of like unique players. You need to build around like guys like Euro and Ahmad, guys that should and could be there for 10 years, and you should just like bring in young guns. And slowly, not like all at once, but slowly take out the broken cogs in the system. And like, it's just going to take time. But I don't think you guys have the patience for that anymore.
That's what I was going to say. It's the expectation to produce like so quickly for United that I think prevents them from doing
your
this.
history might actually be the reason that you guys stay shit for longer.
Yeah,
and I think Shad also made a good point. Don't do it all at the same time. Trust me. It doesn't mean it's going to work.
To put it into an American sports reference, it's not the Lakers. You can't just go get LeBron. That's not how the sport works. You can't just go get the best player in the world and have them change your
Well, even if
culture.
you did, like, even if you had like who even is the best player in the world?
This summer is a great example. Mbappe could have came to Ronaldo this summer. He was never looking twice at United.
But even if he did, even if Mbappe was at United, we would all just be talking about how shit Mbappe is and how he's not doing anything.
Yeah, we're saying that, and he's at Real Madrid, so I couldn't imagine what.
And he has he almost has 30 goals.
If that's what we're saying about him at Madrid, I don't even want to know what we'd be saying about him if he was at United.
That would have been great. It would have been so awesome.
All I know is, for my mental health and the sake of this podcast not running, an hour and 30 minutes every single week, this is going to help.
Stop talking.
This is going to help. Yeah. So let's move on to Chelsea.
All right.
Watch them win out. I'm never going to lose
that'd
again.
Be hilarious.
This will be quick. Oh, that was.
We're never going to lose again. Chelsea dropping points now in sixth. Oh, are they?
We're in sixth. Relax.
Where am I look? I don't know what I'm looking at, to be honest with you.
What are you looking at?
I was looking at home form. That makes a lot more sense.
Okay. That's still pretty bad.
So I was like, Brentford is not in sixth. So Chelsea are in sixth now. Grant, your thoughts on maybe the worst Chelsea performance this season?
Definitely not maybe. It is really disappointing. I was telling the boys when the game was going on, I got called into a meeting during the start, like right when the second half was about to start, and that really saved my sanity. It was definitely our worst performance of the season. You've just seen what other teams are able to do against Brighton to exploit them. We've done it ourselves earlier on this season, the reverse fixture, and we essentially employ the same approach we did when we lost, and we lost even worse. We had the ball, I think 70% possession, something like that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this hurts more in the past few years because those past 2 years, I'm sure you're kind of in a similar situation, Dylan. The results just stop affecting you. You just don't really care. It's just like, we don't have anything anyways, not worried about it. This team showed me something through, the first 17 games, that there's absolutely a semblance of a good team here, and it has completely disappeared. It's night and day thinking about it. As soon as the form dropped, complete 180. Cracks are showing. What did you say?
It's because they're a bunch of babies.
Yeah. And I think we talked about it, but you lose your only two strikers. One of them is an 18-year-old we took from Barcelona the day the deadline shuts. Now you have Nkunku up top for the rest of the season, who our own manager has said is not a striker.
Yeah.
What do we expect is going to happen? There's just absolutely zero threat going forward because Nkunku is trying to get the ball off Colwell or Chalobah. Instead, even Jackson wasn't scoring. He's a nuisance. I'm sure as a defender, you would hate to play against a guy like that. It's just annoying for 90 minutes, even when he's not getting his game off. It opens things up for others, especially Cole Palmer. We're seeing it now. He really does look like he's struggling relative to what he's shown us. I think Jackson's, gravity out there, for lack of a better term, definitely is a reason to why. Palmer thrives off space. Jackson creates tons of it for the other forwards. The wingers have been more disappointing than any of the forwards for me because they're playing in the right positions. They're playing in their preferred positions, and they're just showing nothing. Whether it's Madueke, who's now also out for a few months, whether it's Neto, whether it's Sancho, there's just really nothing. There's no threat from them either. I kind of mentioned it last week, but it just goes back to the sporting directors for me. The direction, I just have no idea what we're trying to do at this point. I understand the stockpiling when you're in 12th place. Just get as many youngsters as you can. A Palmer's going to happen. One of them's going to hit out of the 30 you buy. But now we're at a point I think we saw in the first half where this team showed that they were capable of competing, whether it was now or in the near future, and we did absolutely nothing to support that in January. We treated this January like the past two Januaries, and I think that's really condemning for the sporting directors. And again, there's still blame to be given everywhere. Maresca definitely deserves some blame. The players absolutely deserve some blame, but if we just go bigger picture, I think it all just comes back to the sporting directors, the guys who are making decisions on who's going to play for our club and who's not. I love Chalobah, but we know what level he is. If we want to be winning the Prem, he's not going to be starting every week. I think he's shown that in the short time he's been back. Man of the match performance against Wolves. and then Matoma spins him inside out 2 straight games. That's my quick summary. Any other thoughts, boys?
I think we've talked about it a lot, but
I actually think that you can blame the directors for not having the players, but you guys do have the players. You guys just played like shit. It looked like shit. That's the manager. That's on the manager. You guys looked so gross, in my opinion. I could not watch that game. Every time you guys got the ball,
static.
Reece James would go into the false back position, which I guess that's what he's told to do, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys have 3 guys standing right next to each other in the 6-8 area, just all together, whereas there's no right back to space it out where you could actually open the game up. And then, oh my god, I don't know how many times this happened, but I'm just watching the game, and Reece James passes it to fucking Enzo, and then they pass it back to Reece James. And he passes it to Enzo. Enzo looks around a little bit, and he's like, all right. Passes it back to Reece James, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's no way I'm watching a professional game right now. That has to be on the manager.
I agree.
I think it can definitely be on the manager. It could also be what we've talked about, in that you guys have a lot of pieces that don't fit. And they just don't fit together. Not necessarily that they don't fit the mold of the whole puzzle, but they might not fit together either. So when you have all these guys on the pitch, but like you were saying, first half of the season, it looked like you guys were clicking. It's hard to understand why this is happening when you guys went from one of the better defenses and one of the better attacks to now you just scored 4.
That's why I say manager. He's a fraud.
No, I understand that for sure, but
they looked so good.
Get out there.
He definitely introduced us to a vibe that could not be maintained. That I will agree. I will concede that. I think to Mila's point, what it comes down to is square pegs are going into round holes right now. If you look at the personnel and what's available to him, and mind you, I agree, that game was awful. No one was moving off the ball. I didn't think at any point there would be a shot on target. I was not surprised when it ended the game in nothing. But who's he supposed to put up top? I'm just looking at the bench. Why is we signed Dewsbury Hall for $35 million, for no reason.
He hasn't seen the pitch.
We signed our January signing, Mwogu. I don't want to butcher his name. He's a 19-year-old midfielder from France, and the plan is to loan him to our parent club Strasbourg at the end of this season while he acclimates to the club right now. There's a player at Strasbourg on loan from Chelsea right now who's one of the best midfielders in France. That alone shows me the priorities, where it's we need to make sure he's good. We don't want to throw him into something. We want to make sure his price is still high if we want to sell him. I mean, that's what it leads me to believe, that type of decision making. If he's meant to go on loan to Strasbourg, why don't you send him there now and get the player that we need at a position that's really thin right now? It's little microcosms like that just keep popping up. I'm the Brighton goalkeeper who was third choice that we paid $25 million for to get a deal on Caicedo, who we ended up paying a record fee for. These guys are just idiots. I don't know how else to put it.
I think the answer is what you're all saying. So I'll just throw in another fucking thing that I think is causing it. Is there's just a root understanding of it doesn't matter. The season doesn't matter to Chelsea, and and it's been my biggest issue with Maresca and the sporting director since the start of the year is they've been pushing off the idea of this team being good from the very start. It doesn't matter because we'll do it next year. There's always next year. That's never guaranteed in sports, and it's choosing to be bad. That was the most pathetic, team collective energy I've seen out of a match out of Chelsea this season, or from any team in the Premier League as a whole. They didn't care. None of the players on the pitch cared to be there. It looked like they didn't care, and they just lost to this team in the same position in the FA Cup, and none of them gave a fuck. Sancho came on, didn't give a fuck. Neto I'm looking at these forward. I mean, if you knew at the start of the season that you were going to have to fight for your spot on this team, that was the one big motivating factor. Is like if you wanted to play, you had to play well, and that was the winning mentality. I thought now that these players don't have that and they're forced into the spot, like you'd think, oh, like maybe we're going to play well because I know I'm going to get minutes. It's been the exact opposite. It just looks like they all don't care and they're all just willing to be like, oh, well, everyone says that it's all good. We can do it next season. So why does it matter?
Or the season after that. They have a lot of seasons on those contracts.
It's a good point, Dylan. It's a good point, Dylan. I think it's a really good point because it first started with the title talk. We're not in the title race. We're not ready. All that good stuff. And now it's starting to go, oh, Champions League wasn't the plan first year. It was second year.
Right. Once the things start going bad. Like,
were they going to predict City just shitting their pants for a third of the season? Like, that's a really good opportunity to leapfrog a team in the standings. Are we going to predict these things? United and Spurs in the bottom half? Like, to your point, you need to be opportunistic. You can absolutely go into a season with a plan. You can have a multi-year plan. I think a multi-year plan made a ton of sense given where we were a few years ago. But using context, you can start to look at it and go, oh, I think we might be able to speed up the process here by going out and, let's say, again, just the way Chelsea have acted the past few years, let's go target a Šeško, a Gyökeres, like a huge name. Osimhen, break clause, all that. Like, they could have absolutely said, we're going to speed up the timeline. And now, instead, we're currently in 6th, and we are not going to have a shirt sponsor for the rest of the season. What are we doing?
It's choosing to be complacent on the idea that next year will be better. And to your point, it's not going to be. City just spent £200 million in a window in January that doesn't happen. They're going to go in this summer. They're going to revamp the entire squad again. With another,
apparently, Arsenal want to spend again.
Arsenal will spend again.
Yeah, but that won't happen.
I think they made some money.
They're gonna have 300 million.
They will not sign strikers. They will sign players.
How many more midfielders?
They get Saka back. That's the most important thing. They get one of the best young talents in the world back next season. Liverpool might suck next year. They might be the same exact team. We have no idea. And that's my big
probably they'll get 2 to 3 random names that you've barely heard of in your life.
They're going to sign. I just want.
But they're going to lose a lot of players.
Super random. Signing.
Maybe.
They're going to sign the dude Kone from Mönchengladbach. I just want to throw.
I can see it.
Super random, but that was a random name that came to mind. So I need it on the record.
Respect him.
Spurs have showed initiative. We didn't talk about them at all during that United thing. But but they have. Getting Tell and getting what's his name, the center back.
Yeah, they have.
Danso.
He was great. And that shows that they care and they're going to spend the money. It'll happen.
Are they going to keep
Will they be good? I don't know.
I don't think he's going to money. He's not well, it's a player, but what if he just goes, I'm going to go back to Bayern Munich, thank you very much. Like, I
understand like they got the buy. So if company's there, then it's not.
If he does well at Spurs for 6 months, he either can go back to Bayern or get a better move. Like, why would he go back to Tottenham?
The thing is, if he's doing well at Tottenham and he's like fitting into the system and he's cooking, then he'd be like, I'm going to.
It's a great stepping stone, Tottenham. Yeah.
I guess the broader point is every team in the Premier League retools, revamps, and tries to be better the next season.
Yep.
Because that's the whole point. They make so much money, that's just the cycle of things. And so to sit there and be like, whatever, next year we'll get it. That's
it's because all the players are on 8-year contracts, and they're not even tripping either. They're just like, honestly, I'm here for a while.
I think Dylan made a point with the players being complacent. Once they earned their spot, they're just like,
There's also, it all goes around and around, I think. When we talk about there's no old guys on the team, there's no guys in the team that are going, hey, I only got like a couple fucking years left to play this game, and I would like to win a league. There's none of that in the locker room whatsoever.
Other than Tosin.
Not saying...
He's not even young. he's young because he's on our team.
This has been a point I've been waiting to bring up because I know you're not going to like it, but the idea that you guys got Felix and you let go of Gallagher, there's a certain level of you need those players that kind of bleed Chels in a sense. And I'm not saying it's necessarily Gallagher, but the whole model of it is like, you could just fuck him off. Bring in Felix, and then we'll just fuck him off. And it's just this recurring cycle where Gallagher. I'm not saying he would play every week. I'm not saying that it would work, and I understand PSR implications, but if we're looking at the sport as a business model, then it's no longer a sport. It's a business. And that's the way Chelsea are treating this. And that's the bigger issue is they're no longer a football club. They're a Fortune 500 company looking to make a profit.
Where's the captain from? Where's the starting center back from? Where's George? Where'd he come from? Where'd Acheampong come from? These are the academy. They keep the good ones. Gallagher's not good enough. I like your point. I agree, but they are running it like
good enough.
He's starting to piss me off even more than I meant.
Is Reece James good enough? He barely plays. He couldn't even get in the starting. He wasn't in the starting 11.
What's he worth?
I actually think Gusto's better.
Definitely not this year. Definitely not this year.
Acheampong can't sniff the pitch. You guys decide to buy players instead.
U21s. That one's a crazy one too. Like if we love Cobham so bad and wanted a center half to do a job, we have a younger, better one with higher potential in Acheampong than Chalobah.
But Trev is just a weird one because
we forced him out 2 years in a row. The first year he was injured. The second year he got out on loan. And we said, "Oh, injury crisis and Disasi sucks." Who signed Disasi? The sporting directors. To Milo's point, it's a fucking circle of ineptitude. It's a circle of ineptitude.
It's all connected.
Right. It is ran like a business. I will agree. And although they are allowing the best players from the academy to stick around because those are good assets, like a Colwell, a James, etc., it's ran like a business, absolutely. You could tell by, like what I mentioned earlier, the Strasbourg transactions, where it's like, oh, we got to save him for next year, and then we'll loan the other one out. Like, yes, they absolutely run it like a business.
Yeah,
it's a bad precedent, and it is a dangerous precedent.
It's just so confusing because I don't see, like, I know Real do it, but I don't see Real Madrid going, you know what, let's sign this guy on an 8-year contract because we're going to flip him in 6.
Real Madrid. They're just like an entity of their own almost.
But
in terms of the way they business.
City don't do this. City don't do this. Like they got Haaland because they're like, he's going to be our best player forever.
Wants to stay.
And he wants to stay. You guys are signing guys because the idea that they can just fuck off in 6 years.
We gave Robert Sanchez a 7-year deal.
On the idea that he could play, build his confidence, fuck him off.
Interstellar meme on that one in particular. McConaughey screaming.
The long contracts were so they could bring in this plethora of players.
Yeah, because they couldn't afford it.
The only way they could bring in that many players.
It was the whole model. The whole model was
we
broken.
gave them low wages and 8-year deals. So it's like, hey, it's really low wages, but it's for 8 years. That's how we were able to sign all of them.
All the ugly concerns are rearing their head because winning covers those holes. But now that the wins aren't there, we're like,
we're right back to where we were in the summer. Yeah, because it was quiet for a bit. It was really quiet.
Yeah, when you're competing for Premier League,
right?
It's hard to
complain.
Point,
I actually thought that they were on something.
I was away from.
I was like,
something.
damn!
I was there.
With all these games, they're the only team that has enough players to rotate through these games.
Maybe that's it. Ever since there's no more Conference League football, they just have fallen off a cliff. That might be the issue.
They weren't rotating hard enough.
They beat up on some fucking 4th division teams and use Uzbekistan.
Our Prem team was wearing street clothes for those, but they were still the comprehensive. No, we did play a game in Uzbekistan. We actually did.
Yeah, that's class.
I mean, maybe we really miss Wesley Fofana that much. Perhaps I treated him too harshly. Do we really miss him and Lavia that much? I don't think so. We definitely miss them. I think they're valuable pieces, but there's no chance we miss them.
They're not good enough to make this big of a difference.
I don't think Jackson is that type of player that'll fix it on his own. I think him and Palmer, it's becoming a little more clear that they are more of a duo.
Palmer needs his juice back.
Not that he needs it. Palmer's still very talented. But
Palmer would get
because I don't think if Palmer was with a normal striker, based off what Grant's been saying on how Jackson gets involved in the plays and builds for the other forwards, it almost seems like you kind of need that profile for Palmer to succeed a little more.
And Cuckoo can't do it.
So, not a Rasmus
with the team you have. With the team you have, at least
they need Karim Benzema for this.
They feel like ISO ball
in his
players.
prime.
Yeah,
they need Benzema in his prime.
The reason I'm really open to like a Sheshko profile. I know I've talked down on him a lot, but Osimhen, like that type of just presence, because you see, like for example, in that Brighton game, you have a guy like Pedro Neto who has a very good cross on either foot. Oh, who can I cross to in there? Oh, Cucurella? What the fuck is, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. So to be able to have a sort of change of pace where instead of a Jackson, because I still think Jackson's top. I still think he's a great player.
Jose
so to be able to have
left wing.
He's in Saudi Arabia.
Same shit. You know what I mean? To have two different profiles of striker that really check all the boxes where it's like a late game, we need a goal, let's throw on the big lad, right? I think having that type of profile will benefit us a lot, but having zero striker, I'm starting to get really hopeless, and if something happens to Caicedo, it's finished.
Things could get ugly very quickly, but it's already ugly, so we'll just have to wait and see. I think the only thing that you could hope for as a Chelsea fan, and this is what I've been thinking, is like, we got embarrassed twice in a row. Like, either we got to shape up or this is...
It's been 2 months, though. Coming on 3.
Like, but maybe this is the wake-up call you needed. Before, maybe it wasn't, like, as dire.
Villa away on Saturday, so
we'll see. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
y'all play Villa?
See. That's a big game.
That's the game to do it.
They better know it.
That's the game.
Villa, I mean, they're pretty low in the standings. I'm sure they could probably go up above us if they win that.
They can't because they drew, but if they had
won... they got a game in the middle of the week, though.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they do.
Who's that against, though?
Oh, they play Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, they play cool.
You know who likes a goal against Liverpool?
Who
Rashford.
Liverpool have been dropping points, though. Fuck
They have.
They haven't looked good, but they get wins. They're
starting to get their points lately, though, yeah. They definitely don't look as good, I agree. All right, let's start talking about these shitters.
Yeah, back to the same episode as last week. Really weird. Let's go to good teams. Yeah, City 4-0. Marmoush hat-trick. Mila, go ahead.
Not starting with Marmoush. They're going to start from the back, go forward.
Okay.
Ederson with the long balls was OG. That looked like an OG Ederson performance.
That was.
So that was cool. But to the point of Marmoush, I think Ederson is able to play like that because he has more willing runners in the squad that we played, Marmoush being one of the main ones. And it's not that he makes runs, it's that he makes intelligent runs. He's curving the runs, he's indicating where he wants it before he makes the run, and then he makes it easy for them to play the ball if you see it. And luckily we have a goalkeeper like Ederson that can fucking see a 60-yard pass down the field. And that's how he got his first goal. He just from the Ederson long ball. I think Rico caught a lot of fucking slack in the past couple months, honestly. And I think it's bullshit. He is by far one of our best players going forward on the ball. And all the bullshit that we hear about him is because he's being left out there to dry with the squad makeup. But we play one game with Nico Gonzalez and he looks like a fucking stud again. So that's what we've been saying all year, all of us, is that if we have a little bit of size, Rico will look good. So I'm not really worried about
Hey.
Nico.
Not really worried. And Nico.
Uncle Rico.
Is good reference.
So yeah, you have Rico, Nico, Uncle Rico with Gundogan. Because he's
Uncle Rico?
It's a Napoleon Dynamite reference.
Yeah. You know, he can throw a ball over those mountains. It's fucking awesome. Sorry, that was not a remotely close pull.
Much appreciated over here. Much appreciated. Huge.
Sorry, you can continue your thoughts now.
Yeah, it's good. I needed to fucking think a bit. Kusanov looked good. I know we talked about recovery pace a lot this season. He is by far the definition of recovery pace in this team now. But he's still young, so he's going to make mistakes. That's where the recovery pace comes in, though. I don't have a problem with you making mistakes if you correct them. So that was cool. Nico.
Akanji out, he'll have to step up.
What?
Akanji being out as well.
Yeah. Akanji's out for the rest of the season, so it's going to be Rico.
Is he really out for the rest of the season?
Yeah, surgery done.
I think they said 8 to 10 weeks. But yeah,
that sucks.
But the biggest thing for me in that game, I know Marmoush got a hat trick, but I thought Nico Gonzalez was huge. Like, dominating presence in the midfield. That is no joke of a midfield. And
he did that to a good team.
He did that to Tonali and Guimaraes.
He didn't do that to Ipswich.
Exactly.
He did that to
it was against one of the better midfields in the Premier League, which is a good sign.
Physical midfield, too.
Mm-hmm. He made Gundogan look a little better. this is what the Gundogan that we were supposed to see all season. This is what his role was supposed to be. He wasn't supposed to be our main guy in the midfield. He was supposed to be next to the 6.
Is Rodri that good?
Rodri's that good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you guys, it was night and day. It was night and day, to your point. They looked so like comfortable that whole game.
Well, when you get baby Rodri and fill the hole that Rodri is, like the Rodri-shaped hole
fills
that we
a lot
have.
Of cracks.
Yeah, exactly. He's not Rodri, though. But all we need is a resemblance of that, and we haven't had it all season in any way, shape, or form.
Kovacic's a good player, but he's not that.
He's
you
not
can't
a 6.
teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, he won't hold. He's not positionally aware in the defense.
No.
Like it's not.
It's not a 6.
Real Madrid
doesn't work. What's up?
He's got a lot of Champions Leagues.
Top 4 in general is just ridiculous. I don't think I need to go in on any one of them. I think they were all really good in that game. Savio, Marmoush, Foden. Just really, really good. They just work together, and that's all I've really wanted all season. Is guys that make runs off of each other. My headphones are about to die in like 30 seconds. So yeah, I think that was everyone except for Gavardio, but we've been saying the same thing about Gavardio like every week basically, except for when he makes those crazy howlers. But he's a special player, so I'm definitely excited for the next game, which is Real Madrid. But this is our season. This is what it's been all season. We will play like that. We'll dominate a team after a run of bad form, and then we'll go, hey, they might be back. And then we might get our asses handed to us on Wednesday. I'm hoping we don't, because that'll be a good sign. With the DNA of the squad, like with Nico, I think we won't revert to how bad we've been playing. I don't necessarily think we'll win, but there's definitely going to be... It's going to look more like a Pep Guardiola City team than the past couple months, if he lines up the way he's supposed to.
Do you know who the 3 guys you registered for Champions League are?
It was Kusanov, Nico Gonzalez, and Marmoush.
Yeah, at least you have them to work with.
Yeah, so your headphone situation, do you want to take a break? And
No. I can plug it in. I think we'll be fine.
Okay. So I was going to say, Grant, did you have thoughts, or Shad, did you have thoughts on this game? Did you watch it?
I just watched the highlights, to be honest. I didn't watch the game itself.
I mean, I've got thoughts on it. I mean, that was one of Newcastle are super strange. They've also done this all season, where like they'll look great for stretches and then they'll play a team and just get punked.
Yeah,
like they looked awful. And Trippier is done, bro. Like him against top opponents, like dude, like fries in the bag. Yeah, Chinese. Like anyway, he's just not at that level where he can compete anymore. Rough. City looked really good. I was super impressed with the flexibility of Marmoush. Like, the amount of gravity that Haaland requires against, like, certain defenses is something that makes him a super special talent, because you can't leave him alone or give him 5 yards of space, because either he'll beat you physically or he'll beat you with pace, right? Like, he has both of those tools, and so then if you have to divert attention with Burn and Cher, both on Haaland, there's spaces to be exploited, and that's for every team on planet Earth. I don't think there's a good natural... Maybe there's one team on planet Earth that can do it with one particular player, but because Haaland is so dire, like you have to contain him, Marmoush was just able to exploit the channels, and he's such a good finisher of the ball that hat-trick looked easy. City have a weird way of letting players just score hat-tricks for fun. Like, it's always funny to see, like, whenever one of these players scores a hat-trick for City, and it's like, well, Saka hasn't scored one yet, and it's like, yeah, because it's a fucking difficult task, but Pep and City tend to do that pretty often in the Prem.
They have the most hat-tricks in Premier League history.
There you go.
Which is a ridiculous stat for little City
random question, can we include Conference League hat-tricks, or are we not bringing those to the table right now?
No,
I meant all-time. That was an all-time stat.
Like Conference League all-time, we're probably up there.
Yeah. You guys have been punking people for better part of his entire reign, pretty much, and that Marmoush display would be something that I'd be super positive about, just because the idea that Haaland doesn't have to score 3 goals to keep you guys in games anymore is important.
That's the main thing, was that he can score goals. It was never a question, though. It was more so like with Savio, I think, wasn't that he won't get GNA. It's just when will the first GNA come and when will it start flooding in from there.
Yeah. Do we just segue into the recap of what happened the Wednesday prior?
Sure. Yeah, I was just curious though, Dylan. Is that water in a wine glass?
No, it is alcoholic beverage in a Deschutes brewery glass.
Crop it out.
Not even close. I just went 0 for 2 on that tough. All right, go
on. So in a game that looked like every other Champions League game that City has played in, Shadman's team bested Mila's team in a very funny way, where, if you noticed on the thumbnail, Shadman's person decided to not celebrate and then celebrate with his teammate.
He didn't celebrate his own goal, but celebrated his winner.
Shad, you take the stage. We were texting during it, but what were your thoughts?
Well, it was all over the place. I thought we looked amazing for how we have been looking this season in general. The way the attack was linking up, that's like what we've been expecting to see out of this team and this attack, and it just has been lacking all season. And unfortunately, it came to play against City. Well, not unfortunately for me, unfortunately for Mila, but it was great. I mean, Ederson was really good. I think if Mbappe starts getting some of these opportunities consistently, then he'll start putting more and more away. It'll only get better from here if we can continue to perform like this going forward. Vinny kind of looked comfortable in striker, which is nice to see because he's never comfortable there. It was nice. It was honestly nice to see them play the way they did. Obviously, the defense was going to be shaky. That was just there was no escaping that. There was no world in which that defense was going to come in and shut shit down. It's just, so I was honestly happy with how they played. I think there's not much we could really do about that penalty. I think it was just a brilliant little bit of skill from Foden. Obviously, you don't need to dive in there, but in the moment, young player, Camavinga, it happens. I'm very happy that Carlo Ancelotti didn't have Alzheimer's that game. And that's the best thing. The best part of the game was the fact that his substitutions actually came at a reasonable time. They were actually able to make a difference in that game. And he just hasn't been doing that throughout the season. He's been waiting until the 80th minute to bring players on, and we have options. Obviously, we don't have many options because of the injuries right now. We don't have many senior options, but we still have a Modric or Camavinga or Ceballos. One of them is going to be on the bench, and they can play. We have Arda Güler who can play. Brahim Diaz, obviously, we all know he can play. He can start on most teams. So I was very happy with the performance overall. Honestly, I can't really critique them. I think they did what they had to do. And hopefully they can just, kind of produce a similar result in the next game. We have Rudiger back, which is huge. He's maybe the only person that can hinder Haaland's attempts and his chances of scoring a goal. But even then, for him to come right back from injury and get tossed into City, it's going to be scary. It's going to be very scary, especially if their attack plays together and just like they actually have a game, because I don't think they like had a game on Wednesday. I think they had chances, but I wasn't like scared when they got the ball, which like in previous years it's like holy fuck, like they're about to attack, like something's gonna happen right now. So we'll see. I mean, like it's gonna be a fucking toss up again. We don't know what's coming out to play with either of these teams. Like we both have had pretty solid weeks, I would say. Like a week or two, our teams have looked kind of good. Like obviously Real Madrid's results, if you look back at them, they won't paint the picture. I've been losing my mind in every group chat. The absurdity of La Liga, but regardless, like I think the team's actually been playing better than like earlier in the season where they just looked disjointed. And I think it's kind of the same with City, where they look disjointed for a bit. They're starting to look like they're together again. But I mean, they could just come out on, is it Tuesday or Wednesday? The game's on Wednesday. If they come out on Wednesday and just look like shit, like I can totally see that happening, because it's been an on and off thing for Real Madrid. Like one game they look great, one game they look like shit. One game Ancelotti makes subs, one game he doesn't. So I don't know. I think it would be really fucking stupid to go and lose this lead at your home after you've given yourself such a fantastic position to go through in this tie, given City are also not anywhere near their like full strength. You know, we're not at full strength, but neither are they. So I don't think there's any excuses here. Like they have to go in there and they have to get the job done. But obviously that could just not happen.
I mean, I think Alaba's supposed to be back too, right? Do you think he starts?
Yeah, but I don't even think that guy's like that guy's
and
right. Yeah, but Alaba's available.
Alaba at this point is like a
vibes.
Yeah, he's like a locker room leader / coach for Real Madrid. He's not really a football
I think Rudiger
player
being back eases a lot of pressure or like angst, if you will, like to be able to have not only just a center back available, but one who's had relative success dealing with Holland at home. And I think almost scamming a win in the first leg to be able to take that home. I mean, Ederson did have a very good game up until the points where he didn't. And it cost him the game, unfortunately for him. But yeah, I think that was just the least surprising thing, given what we've seen from City, their fragility, and then also just Real Madrid voodoo magic in the Champions League. It's not like we haven't seen it before. So yeah, I think Pep had it right. You got a 1% shot. You just got to go in there, nothing to lose mentality if you're City. Gonzalez playing would be a huge help, I'm sure.
He better play. No, that
if
is
he's not in the lineup,
unnecessary. I might just not watch the game if he's not starting. Yeah, there's no point.
If it's Kovacic, Bernardo, or
it needs to be. It should be Stones, Nico. That's the only lineup I want to see in the mid, like those two positions.
And then Kusanov at center back with Diaz.
Kusanov at right back with Diaz and Ake.
Right back. Diaz, Ake. Oh yeah, Ake's fit. That's good.
Ake just had a tummy ache over the weekend.
Dude, honestly,
one game, son. That's all we need.
I honestly feel like Rudiger coming back might fuck us.
Why do you say that though?
It's I'll tell you exactly why. Because I don't trust. No, actually, I don't. That's why I'm scared. Is because I don't trust Ancelotti, because he just hasn't. When there's been an opportunity not to play Asensio, he has taken it. I don't know why. Maybe it's the stuff that is like that Asensio is dealing with outside of footy.
Benzema.
I'm not really sure what it is, but like when there has been another option, he's chosen to play the other option. So I'm fucking worried that he comes out and he's like, okay, Vasquez is back. Slot that motherfucker right back. Play Chouameni right next to him. And then play Rudiger and for fucking Ferran Garcia, bro.
I can see that happening. So I can see that happening. That's a good point.
We start with that back line, we're gonna lose. We're gonna throw this away. It's over. Like if we have Tchouaméni and our right wing, right back captain, who I love Vasquez. Like I have nothing against. It's not his fault. He's being forced to like play in a place where like
a crucial role.
He's being forced to play football.
Listen, I think he's a good like second right back to have on the team.
Mm-hmm.
This guy cannot go in there and play our most important game next to Tchouaméni. Like that's the hardest part. Like if there's like a real center back next to him, like if we had like a Varane, Sergio Ramos, like not even as good as them, like someone who's slightly lower level, Eder Militao, like anyone who's a proper center back, then he can do his job fine because he's like he doesn't need to be on point every time. But with Tchouaméni there, he needs to be on point every time because they're both one mistake away from a goal. And like Rudiger is also a wild card. As much as I love him, as great as the defenders he is, he's a wild card, bro. Like the guy's gonna do crazy things. He's gonna get a fucking yellow card. He's gonna like jump head first to try to like header the ball away and just like kill someone. Like you never know what you're gonna get with that guy. Like, what you need beside him is like consistency and someone who like what the fuck you're gonna get out of them, and that's Asensio. So if he plays Asensio next to Rudiger, thank God Rudiger's back. Thank you, Lord. But if he plays Tchouaméni and Rudiger, then I wish Rudiger wasn't back because I would have rather had Asensio back there because now we have two wild cards playing center back with two complete attacking wing backs. Like these guys have no defensive capabilities. Like Fran Garcia has no defensive capabilities, a little bit, not against City. And then Vasquez has no defensive capabilities against anyone in the world. So like I don't know.
He makes Trent look like Wan-Bissaka.
Gosh, that's what I'm saying, dude. Imagine we had Trent, bro. You guys say bad. Trent can't play defense.
Vasquez is a winger.
He can play defense, bro.
Yeah, Vasquez is a winger.
Look, I've been waiting to make this point. I don't like Vasquez. I've been very clear about that. If he is in this game, if he plays valuable minutes,
he's gonna play.
Plays more than 10 minutes.
He's gonna start.
If he starts, dude, it's call it too. Marmoush is cooking that fucking fool.
He's a very good penalty taker.
Marmoush is cooking that fool. No, dude. Valverde is so good, and it's
but we're gonna start him in midfield.
I really hope, like, if there was any world where you start Tchouaméni and Rudiger together, Valverde has to be the right back. He's so fucking
or Asensio plays the right back. If you play those two at center back, you play Asensio right back. He's playing a full back position, and because he can bring the ball up, he can cross it, he can do that stuff. Like he can give you what you need in attack from a right back who's there to defend. But like the one thing we can't do is put a right back who's there to attack. And there's a high chance that happens.
Lineups are going to tell us a lot about how this game is going to go from both sides.
You were saying that you felt like Real kind of came away with the game and they stole it.
No,
I genuinely thought it
was not scammed it as in they didn't deserve it. Scammed it in the way it went down, where it was like, just back-to-back quick fire mistakes.
But that's how we do it.
To Shad's point at the beginning of the game, they looked a lot better than they have. The attack looked fluid. Rodrigo, we haven't mentioned yet. He looked amazing in that game too.
He's been consistent all year.
Yeah, dude, he's so good. Yeah,
Vinny had an amazing game. It had been like 3 weeks since Vinny had a good performance. Like Vinny hadn't had a good performance.
I mean,
he actually balled against City. Like he created opportunities that most players are not creating, and unfortunately, they weren't finished. They weren't put away, and obviously, he's still not at his best. But like, dude, like they're cooking. They're actually cooking. If we like play like similar to that, and take some of our chances, I think that we could win and we could just finish this series out and breathe a little bit and then move on to the next game, which will be shit Atletico Madrid, the dirty ass team.
Watching them play. Yeah, if Mbappe had his shooting boots on, I think that the scoreline wouldn't have been as close as it was. But the only goal he scored was literally a fluke goal. So funny.
Yeah, it was so funny.
So funny. Yeah, I don't know. From a City perspective with this match, I don't think Kevin De Bruyne can start. And
no, I think he's done.
That was
rough. The past 2 games, it's been really hard to watch him play.
He's just physically not able to keep up with guys the same way. He's never been
not
that
burning
physical
by
player.
guys.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. He's sneaky physical.
Yeah, but he's not
he's not a dominating physical presence, but he was a very physical player, and this is why we are where we're at.
Yeah,
because the way he can't play the way he used to play.
I think you trot out the same lineup
he's
you did
washed
midweek, dude. If Bernardo and KDB,
Dude.
He was
Bernardo's
awful.
Totally, he's gonna play though.
Yeah, he's gonna play. There's a reason he didn't play. This weekend. He looked horrid.
So bad.
He looked horrid.
Maybe
man.
you'll be able to watch both of them, Dylan.
Dude, you know who looked really good against Real Madrid? Who went off, which was fantastic. Grealish, dude. Grealish looked really good.
Yeah, because he got a really good half an hour
from Valverde's stinky butt.
Good,
bro. He got pink eye, and he was like, "Oh no, I cannot play anymore."
He did have a really good 30 minutes. No, he did.
No, dude, his hockey assist was beautiful.
Oh,
it was incredible.
Yeah, that was class.
He's been very good lately. Pep's been saying it a lot in the press. He's a fighter. He's fighting for his spot. A lot of people will roll over in this situation when we bring in all this talent, basically to replace him. But he's still working to prove that he can play for our squad. So I'm 100% happy for him.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
I don't know. For me, it's the guys that we listed, and you included him, like Rico in this list. Like those 3, KDB, Rico, and Bernardo, were the portions of the team that can't match up with Real Madrid's physicality.
I think Rico can play in that game.
I thought Vinny made him look like barbecue chicken. That can't. I genuinely don't think Rico can play.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he can match
up. Vinny was man of the match.
I think Rico only had that slip up when Kova decided to karate kick it to him. And then he's a young player that needs to make that decision. No. That's not fair to him whatsoever.
No, I'm not saying it was fair. I thought he was. I didn't think he was great before that.
Up until Kova put him in that position, I think he was fine. He was doing his job against Vinicius,
that was just the winning
Ballon d'Or
goal.
Candidate.
That's what I'm saying. Is I just don't think physicality-wise that's a good matchup. Like I wouldn't want Vinny running at Rico for 90 minutes. That's not the player that I'm looking at.
It just depends what we're gonna put out. If Rico's playing in this game, it's because Husanov is playing center back. So if Husanov is to the left of him, covering for anything that Vinny can do, totally fine with it. I don't care. If it's going to be a Diaz and Rico, then that's not going to work because Vinny's going to blow by Rico and then he's going to continue to blow by Diaz. And then Stone's supposed to
So that's two 20-year-olds, Kusanov and Rico, almost tag teaming the left-hand side.
I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying I think Rico can play in this game. Yes.
It would scare me because you've got probably the 2 best left-sided players in the world that are going to be interchanging on that left-hand side, and then the 3rd best left-sided player in the world is on the right-hand side.
So you're going to play the slow guys? The answer is not to play our slow players, though.
I like the
old slow players.
I'm 100% with that. I just don't think...
The only thing with that is he's not a right back. He's never played right back at this level in his life.
But any freedom.
I don't think
Akanji looked decent in that spot. Like, can Kusanov replicate
Akanji's played right back multiple occasions. He played in our treble-winning season.
Can he do that? Like, can he give you a shift there? Like, I don't
know. You just said it, though. He's so young.
Yeah,
to put him into a position when he's never played before against Real Madrid.
Yeah,
I actually think
I'll take Rico's headspace over Kusanov's physical ability out on the right, but I understand what Pep is probably going to do.
I see what you're saying there, but yeah, it just scares me. I think, Dylan, you're right. Like, I kind of had a similar feeling of the game where, like, Rico by no means, like, got skinned or embarrassed, any of that. But just watching it, it felt like they had a lot more comfort getting down on the left-hand side.
He came into the game when we just conceded control of the game already, though. Like, That's what I'm saying.
No,
He
he?
did.
It was half?
Yeah.
Oh, because Kanji got hurt. Right.
Yeah, I thought he came on at half. Yeah, it's not all on him, for sure. Those are horrible circumstances to go up against some of the best wide players in the world. But I think that's part of it. It's less of Rico's liability or anything like that.
I just don't want him with those names that he cannot play in Madrid. Like, he I'll say be a part of that game. I don't think De Bruyne should start. De Bruyne should get a 30-minute cameo at the most. And Bernardo, I don't think he should touch the pitch, regardless of what he's done in the past against Real Madrid.
Okay, I don't think it matters who plays right back. If City allows Madrid to play a free-flowing offense, regardless of who's at right back, they might stop him once, they might stop him twice, but they'll get overrun eventually. Whether it's Rico or Kusanov, they're gonna get overrun. Like, that's just that's the truth. If City has to neutralize that from the base, they can't put someone in there or two people in there to even cover for that. I don't think many teams in the world can. They have to neutralize it. Right? Yeah, I mean, like, they played us when we were shit. Doesn't matter.
Just in general, they would throw Araujo at right back to try and address it.
Yeah, and even then, eventually, Vinny's doing his thing. You know, like, someone's gonna do their thing. Like, even though Araujo was like probably the best defender I've seen against Vinny, like, in my life. Like, for me, it was even Araujo was even more frustrating to watch, just personally. I mean, Walker was great too, but like, even then, like, you're eventually gonna like give him something, you know, especially if you're a young guy, regardless of who's there right back, they're gonna give up something eventually if we're constantly attacking. We have to like cut that out the base. They have to force the attacks from the right side, which isn't hard against Real Madrid. That happens honestly a lot. Like, a lot of teams force us right, and honestly, like, that's how we got our goal last game. They were forcing us right, and Valverde got into a great opportunity and whipped the ball in, and it could happen like that too. But I don't think that the answer is going to be who plays right back. It's all about who plays in the midfield. Like, definitely that's where the game is played.
Well, the thing with the right back, though, is I think, to your point, is that you're not going to shut down Vinny completely, no matter who you put there. So the way to mitigate Vinny's presence is to hold the ball more.
Yeah, that's why I actually think Rico's a better option for that position
in the tight spaces.
And I think he's actually a smart player. Like, he knows that he's gonna get cooked. He knows that, and like the few situations where like he kind of played like he was gonna get cooked, he stopped Vinny, bro. He had a couple of great tackles. Like, he had chances where it looked like Vinny was about to get past him, and he put a leg in there and got it back. Like, he I think I was like kind of keeping like a mental score of like how many times they got past him. I think like Vinny got past him like 2 out of 5 times. He stopped him like 3 times, you know? It wasn't horrible. I think he's actually the best option they have. I don't think Kusanov would be able to stop Vinny and Mbappe rotating if they're playing the way that we played last game. That's like he will stop them a couple of times because he's fast and he's a good defender. But eventually, like, he's gonna get lost, dude. It's not easy to play in that right back position. Like, you don't know whether to stay on like it's hard, especially when there's 2 players playing on the left. You will get lost in between them, and then there'll just be gaps, you know? So, like, it's like, I think you actually do need, like, a right back who knows how to, like, actually position themselves against these wingers, and, like, in relation to the center back they're playing with. So, I don't know. I actually think Rico's a better option. I mean, only time will tell, but neither of them are going to be able to, like, fully guard. You know,
no,
that's a good point. That's not an
Araujo or a Walker. Like, that's the thing. We're blessed to have Walker for when we did, to be able to have those battles against Vinny, and they had that mutual respect for a reason, because that was a fucking battle every time they went up against each other. We don't have that in our squad right now, and like you said, Akanji did a good job, but I don't think he would have been able to do that for 2 legs in a row. Like, he would have gotten there would have been a bozo error from Akanji. We know that. within 180 minutes of football. So all of these right backs are gonna have issues.
I'm in tournament play. I just feel like styles make fights, and I know City is going to attempt to hold the ball, but Shad, maybe you can talk to this statement more. How many teams have gone into the Bernabeu and held the ball this season?
2. Oh, this season, a lot. Honestly,
is it really? Sorry, I only watched the Madrid game, so I don't really fucking know. But I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know if I was, even if it's the other way around where like you guys aren't holding the ball and City is holding the possession. Like the idea of Vinicius getting and Mbappe getting out of Rico Lewis in the counterattack scares the shit out of me. And that's
no, I don't think.
And I'd rather just have this big bruising fuck. I don't know, even if it's Ake, like, you know what I mean? Like I understand where you guys' points are, because I do understand that like there's only right backs that can really guard him, but I'd rather just take him out of the game.
Okay, no, this is what I'll say. I don't think that Kusanov being a center back
taking him out the
is
game,
the issue. I think you need an experienced player to be there. So like I think like if you had the Akanji, then you play him at right back because he is big and he has the defensive capabilities, but he's also experienced. But if you get a guy who's supposed to play center back and he doesn't have the experience, and now you're putting him at right back against like the best winger in the world, that's where you get the issues because he doesn't have the experience. He hasn't been in this team long enough, and he's playing a new position that's honestly a pretty challenging position when you're playing against the best player in the world. You know, that's the only thing. I think if it was go.
Shit, no, fuck it. So I agree with you, Dylan, that like we're looking at who the best matchup is at right back, but I just think from what they're saying, I'm starting to agree with them. That's not the best way to address the solution of stopping it, right? Like no matter who you put there, no matter what type of personnel available to Pep, it doesn't matter who you put at right back, because I think to their point that they're making, if you have the control that Rico gives you in possession, that's the best way to mitigate it.
And I'll say this,
whoever you put right
I don't think that City's key to winning this game is to have a fuck ton of possession.
Yeah,
I actually think that would be bad. I think it's to have smart possession. Like they need to move.
Yeah.
Exactly. They need to move when they get the ball. They need to push it. They need to know what they're doing, because they can go any Guardiola team in fucking any of all time, anytime, can move the ball around, hold it for literally the whole game if they wanted. If they didn't need to score, they wouldn't lose the fucking ball. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they do need to score. And it's against a team where, like, if you lose the ball and you're not set up in a way to, like, defend that break, the counter, you're going to get fucking abused. So, like, they need to, like, hold the possession, but, like, not just hold it. Like, do stuff with it, be intelligent with it, not, like, just have players rotating all over the place, because you can't. Like, if you get caught out on the counter and you have a bunch, like, you have two of your midfielders in the box because they're waiting to receive a ball, and you're cooked.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just agree to disagree, because I think I'm not saying that Kusanov is the main target. I think that you have to mentally take Vinicius out of the game, and I think that Madrid's in a position with the refs for you to do that, because the refs aren't on their side, and Madrid is clearly
we're not
pissed
paying
off.
them enough.
So
what, Kusanov's gonna sign language to him to piss him off?
No, I'm saying that you could just fucking kick the shit out of him.
Monkey signs.
I'm saying you could kick the shit out of him for 45 minutes, and you could bring on Rico if it really matters. It's like it's a committee thing. I think Ake could do it. I think anybody could do it. I think you physically have to take
right back.
You have to take him mentally out of the game. That's the best way to throw Vinicius off of his game, is not to try to limit him. It's to physically take him out of the game mentally.
But I don't think the players can do that. I think you have to.
It fucking didn't work.
No, that's not. You don't antagonize him. You take him out of the game by wiping out his legs 4 times. You force the referee in a massive match like this to make a decision, and he won't make it for Madrid. That's why I think that'll work.
I think you have to.
Like that.
I think you have to sign a petition to have the fans be extremely racist, and then yeah, you have to get the away fans.
The away fans who are like up in Rosette. Fuck you. Yeah,
they're throwing a paper.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't think you could get that guy out of the game.
No, I see what you're saying, Dylan. I'm not a fan of that though.
No, I only think that because of the situation that it is you have to fight voodoo magic with a little bit of dark magic, and you have to take something out of a.
So you're saying they should be racist?
No. Play the fucking. I'm saying play the game a little bit. Play the game a little bit.
Dylan's kind of.
I'm saying get feisty with it. I say fuck them up. I don't know.
I think Mila's just saying that's not how the game's meant to be played, and that's not how.
It might not, but it's a
tournament.
a
terrible person to be saying this to.
That's an ethical hooper up there.
It's a tournament, and Madrid are the best at this. So just do it to them.
I just don't see it happening. I don't trust. I don't trust your ref call either. Like you, I just don't.
No, I actually think
totally fair too. My team hasn't. My team hasn't been in the position for this to matter, so I just watch the games and be like, "Oh, well, if they can get it, everyone can get it." So
I could totally see a 5th-minute Kusanov red card for doing exactly what you've asked him to do.
I just
for winning the ball too.
I saw Jude get off for saying. What did he even say?
Well, he said fuck off.
No, I
exponentially worse than
I think
he might get 12 games.
I thought he threatened the family of the referees, if what I heard in reports.
Didn't look like that from the videos.
I was like, what reports are you reading?
I was kidding.
I just think they're a
the Barcelona Tribune.
No, they're just. I don't know. Like the answer is there's no real answer, right? Like there's no real answer. I think it's just. I think you have to try to eliminate
position
it.
Is the least of my worries.
Yeah, we spent. How long have we spent on a right back? That's pretty impressive. This has got to be a new record for us.
I think like 10 minutes. Or no, hold on. I wrote it down.
15 minutes. It's been 15
for us. How many, in 29 episodes, how many minutes have we talked about Rico Lewis?
It's a lot. He might be the most frequently talked about player. There was a stretch where we didn't talk about him, but he's been probably up there for most.
I think it was honestly probably Mudryk until the suspension, because I'd find a way to force him into.
But Mudryk was in there. I think, definitely Rico's in there.
Ahmad to be fair, we kind of covered like
Jonathan David doesn't even play in the league. We talk about him a lot
because he should play.
Yeah.
Do we want to do? Do we combine 11 or do we want to do separate?
No, I don't think we need to do
separate 11s. Do we just want to say what we think the lineups are going to be?
Sure.
I'll let you two pick your team.
You guys pick your teams, and we'll go predictions.
Yeah, Mila, give us your starting 11.
Okay, Ederson. I'm going to base off what I think Pep's going to do, not what I'm going to do.
No. I want to hear what you would do if you were in this situation.
Rico Lewis. Rico. I think I'd go. You kind of have to go Diaz there. I know you could go Husanov. I think Husanov could be there just for recovery pace. Diaz, Gvardiol, and then Ake will get into the game at some point off the bench. Especially if we score a goal or two, I think he'd probably go in for Gvardiol.
At left back?
Stones, left back. But Gvardiol to start at left back. I think Stones and Nico as the two more defensive options in the midfield, and Foden as the 10 with Haaland, Marmoush, Savio.
Shad, how would you like to see Madrid line up this weekend or this week?
How would I like?
How would you like if you were in his shoes? How would you like to see Madrid line up on Wednesday?
Fran Garcia left back, or actually, let me. I think I have to go with him. I was gonna say Camavinga, but I think Fran Garcia deserves it. He's been playing decently and kind of doing what he needs to do. So I'll go Fran. Rudiger, Asensio, Valverde. I would like to see Camavinga, and
you taking
probably
Ceballos out?
Danny Ceballos. No, I think I would start with Ceballos, especially if I predict that City might run a more physical midfield with faster players and just players with more energy. Although Modric has shown that he could do it in the past few games, he's been getting like a full lot of playing like full 90-minute games. And he hasn't really been slowing down, other than like obviously you can see some passes aren't as accurate as they would be if he had full energy. But I would like to start with Ceballos. I don't think we need to chase a goal, so I think Ceballos is better for slowing the game down and just holding the ball. And then Jude, of course. He's in any and every single Real Madrid variation lineup. You could play him anywhere. Just play him. Just put that guy on the fucking field. And then the front three is the front three.
Yeah.
No Tchouaméni?
I don't think so. I wouldn't do it. I think you have to like. I don't know if I would like him and Camavinga together in the midfield. I think they're both kind of wild. I think you need someone who's more composed, like Ceballos or Modric. You need someone who like is just gonna come, take the ball, and move around a little bit and find the next pass. Tchouaméni is kind of a playmaker when he has the ball when he's in midfield. He likes to move forward with the ball. He likes to take his space. He likes to create stuff. He goes forward with his play, and which is great. But we can't have him and Tchouaméni, who like pretty much honestly does the same thing. He's a very forward playing midfielder too. And with Bellingham in there, it just doesn't make sense to have three fucking like completely forward playing midfielders. Like obviously Tchouaméni is a defensive midfielder and he does that role well, but when he gets the ball, he's not looking to like slow the game down and move the ball. He's looking to shoot, like go forward too.
You just need a controller in there.
Yeah. So I think I also with like the fact that Camavinga is kind of an injury risk still. He's played a couple of games and he's looked good and healthy, but like he's been in and out of injury all season, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable not having an option to come in and play that role, which I think Tchouaméni can play that role, because ultimately we're probably going to bring Modric on at some point, unless we're just cruising. If we're cruising, then we might not bring Modric on, but I don't see that happen. I think Modric comes on. I think there's a big chance Valverde could go into the midfield, and then you have Asensio being pushed out to the right, and then you can bring on Tchouaméni. If you really want to close up shop, then you're not looking to attack from the right side anymore.
That was that's kind of where my biggest question mark was, because how good Nico played on the weekend. Like, I was like, do you just put Tchouaméni and Camavinga in there and just hope that you're stronger and more athletic and you can kind of combat it? And the fact that you're playing on the counter allows you to sit a little deeper and then just spring balls. But to your point, like if you're gonna just try to hold some possession, not let City completely control the game for 90 minutes, then Ceballos makes a lot of sense.
I mean, Bellingham is also just a stud.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about him at all.
And like Nico is gonna have his hands. He's gonna have his hands full because Jude is a 6'4" body. Like that motherfucker.
He's just a pain in the ass.
Like, he's on fucking horse juice right now. I don't know what he's on, but he just looks
rabies
huge, bro. Guy is huge. So like, listen, I think that's going to be a fucking battle.
I think we're going to war in the midfield.
Dogging it out.
I think it's going to be big bodies.
The rest of the midfielders will have space.
6'4".
He looks 6'4", bro, because all the other players look tiny. So he looks so big compared to the rest of the Real Madrid team.
Your top three is going to be what we all think it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this game they decided to put Endrick instead of Mbappe.
It's up to Shadman.
True.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be like a bunch of 6-foot+ guys that are strong in the midfield, really good on the ball, just dogging it out for a majority of this game. It really could be. I think that's what it's going to be, especially if we run that Nico Stones midfield against your guys' midfield. If it's Valverde and Bellingham in midfield, like if Valverde plays midfield, then all our midfielders will be above 6 foot because it'll be either Camavinga or Tchouaméni. I'm pretty sure both of those guys are above 6 foot. I don't know. Actually, Camavinga might be like 5'11". This might be. I think both of our teams might perform better, but this will be an uglier game, if that makes sense.
Camavinga 6 foot.
Dude, just listen to the fucking names you guys listed off in the midfield. Stones, Nico, Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. Like, that's ridiculous. And then Modric is a luxury item. KDB is a luxury item. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, this is top-end talent. This what makes these fixtures so fascinating. The fact that we're getting it this early makes it even better. As a neutral fan, for you guys, it's probably super fucking annoying.
Yeah, no, it's correct. This was supposed to happen in 2
I don't have a lot of joy anymore, so let me have this, okay? You fucks.
Hey, MLS starts soon. Come on.
Yeah, next week we're gonna start
defending champions.
Yep.
But no striker.
No, we signed two strikers.
Oh, really? Are they good?
Yeah, they're good. And we'll talk about me, Mila, Dari, and whoever else wants to jump on. Thursday, we're going to be talking about the reigning MLS Cup champions, the LA Galaxy.
I'm an MLS casual. Hopefully, I can be to be allowed to join.
Absolutely. I am an MLS nerd, and whenever this team decides if they get relegated, this podcast will be Dylan, the soccer fan. Talking about the MLS and then mediating your guys' Chelsea and City.
Talk about how crazy it would be if United actually got relegated.
I don't want to think about it.
Dylan, you probably enjoy football the most you've ever enjoyed.
Yeah,
if United
true.
were playing in the championship.
Just one year. If you just mute the group chat.
It'd be hard to watch every game.
Just mute the group chat. You don't need to listen to anybody cooking you about being in a championship. Just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
The MLS and the championship is probably similar on levels. So in terms of the style of play, I think it's probably similar.
A Wednesday night in Stoke, brother. A Wednesday night in Stoke.
Really
a rainy.
Nobody sits there and controls the ball. They all kind of hoof it, and they just score bangers. Like
it's a fun watch.
That's the MLS and the championship in a complete nutshell. And anybody who wants to fight me on that, I'm willing to have that conversation.
Yeah, come see me.
Okay, let's get these predictions out. The closest person to getting their prediction right was me, of course, because I know ball.
I had it up until the last.
You had it up until the last minute. Shadman had it for the last 6 minutes, and then
it was about to end the way I predicted, bro. Come on.
Grant just doesn't know ball, unfortunately. Too many goals.
Grant's off. Let's go with Grant's prediction first.
Yeah.
1-1.
Okay, so is that 1-1 that it ends in 90?
A draw. Yeah.
It ends in 90, okay.
So I think it would have to.
No, but Madrid,
because it could end in 1-1 extra time.
It could be 1-0 extra.
Yeah, okay. 1-1, but it ends in 90. Madrid go through.
Wait, no, wait.
Yes.
It could happen. City could go up 1-0,
so
90th minute, and then it goes into extra time.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. I was going to call you stupid, but I did the math. Good call, Dylan.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, 1-1 and 90. 1-1 and 90.
1-1 and 90. Okay. I'll go next since I don't have the horse, right?
I'm so confused.
3-2.
We're right.
If City goes up 1-0 and to extra time, it's 3-3. And then if Madrid scores,
I understand that.
It's 4-3.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So then it's a 1-1.
You only go to extra time because of the tie.
If it was 1-0,
yeah, that's what he's saying.
That's what's confusing me. Okay,
yeah, we're on the same page.
It'd be 1-0 in 90.
No, I understand.
And then,
I understand that. I understand that. But it's not like okay.
We got it.
Okay, I don't know. It seems that we're all a little confused. I'm confused now. I thought I understood my own point.
I thought I did
too. All right, my prediction is I think it'll end 2-1 Real. I think it's 2-0 and then City get one late.
Cheers, Jeff.
Dude, I don't know, man. If we have Trumani and Rudiger back there,
go with your heart.
It's gonna be fucking goal fest, bro.
What's your heart telling you?
I think it's gonna be 2-1 Real Madrid. I think it's gonna go 1-0, and it's gonna stay 1-0 for a while. City 1-0, and then Madrid are gonna score 2 within 35 seconds of each other, and then the game will end within 5 minutes after that.
Predicting every City game in the Champions League, barring like a couple results, is probably the
and every Madrid comeback. Yeah,
it's good stuff
because they're gonna score. The odds are they'll score first. Like that's a good bet to make. Is that City will score first in this game? Like
they have to be a little.
They're really good to when they start out games. And Real Madrid's really shit, and it takes us a while to get going, and we need to feel the heat. So like it would make sense if City just banged it in, but then I think the Real Madrid attack is just too much right now, the way they're playing.
The Real Madrid attack? You mean dark magic? Don't try to paint it some other way.
Wait until we get Saliba, buddy.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. More.
I'm with that.
I don't have a score prediction. I think I have a result prediction.
Okay.
We will win by 1. And it will go to penalties.
Okay.
And we will most definitely lose in penalties. Unless... Actually, yeah, no, that's definitely going to happen. I have no other doubt. I have no doubts about it.
So I've never seen someone predict to lose on penalties, bro. Like, you want the pain, bro.
I don't want it. I'm telling you what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. I really do respect the prediction.
I know my team.
Crazy prediction.
We'll put that out in the ether. So who's missing the penalty for City?
Bernardo again?
No.
He tries to chip it again. Could you imagine he tried to chip it again?
I don't even know.
Well, at least Kovacic won't be on the pitch for a penalty. You would hope.
You say that.
He might be.
Like it might be the 119th minute, and he'll come on.
Vasquez is like a guguaranteed snipe on a penalty. I don't know who else on Madrid is like a guaranteed snipe.
We're just cursed when it comes to penalties. Let's be honest. Like, I don't even have a person in my mind to miss it. I just know that if we go to penalties, that we'll get that little asterisk we won at the Bernabeu.
We got the same thing. I see, bro. I hate to. I always force Chelsea into conversations, and I've done well today. But I always see tweets about our second leg where we won the game but lost the tie. It's like, oh, this was where it all started to go downhill. It's like, can we not celebrate losing? Like, yeah, you won the fixture because everyone always mentions, oh, Tuchel went and won at the Bernabeu. We lost, though. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, but that's the thing with this fixture. We're down 1.
It's not.
We need a 1-0. We need a 1-0 win to go take it to put the ball in the middle of the pitch, not on anyone's side of the park.
I was like, where is he going with this?
To even it out, like it's not far fetched for City to go in there, get a goal, and hold on to the ball and pray that fucking no one scores, because that's probably in my eyes what's going to happen.
That is the 1%, isn't it?
I just think Madrid is still going to go through, unless we have
it's a tournament, bro.
A phenomenal fucking attack. Our attack is going to have to be the best it's been all season if we want to win this. And I don't think we go through if we don't win it in the 90.
We know Madrid's track record in this competition, but we don't know Madrid's track record in the round of 32 playoffs in this competition. So that's your glimmer of hope.
Also, I was gonna say, like, it might not be someone that misses a penalty. It might just be Courtois that saves the penalty. He is that guy. He's the best. He's fucking best goalkeeper.
We'll have Ederson take the first one and just nail it right in his face.
Ederson takes great pens.
That would be a great idea. But then Lunin is also crazy at saving penalties.
During a shootout?
If there's a brain concussion injury, then I'm sure that it would happen.
Now just put Rudiger in there if that happens.
They should sub on Kovacic.
He just jumps head first to save.
No. Hear me out. Kova takes the 5th penalty, scores, wins for City, and he takes his pants off to give it to a young City fan up in Rose Ed. And he just walks off.
He wouldn't celebrate out of respect, dude.
Oh, good point. Respect. Well, giving his pants to a young fan is really respectful.
But he can't celebrate, though.
He's not celebrating. It's just a donation. Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's wrap it there. I don't think it gets any better than Kova with his pants off. So I think that summarizes this podcast pretty good. So
Real Madrid reject. I don't want to hear his name.
It's okay. He might score and do the respect like Diaz. So you never know.
Did it against us. He showed us
respect. I'm okay with top 10 respect moments, so long as they take off their pants after.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Good. Yep. Let's wrap it up right there. Clash of Clubs, episode 29 in the bag. We will see you guys in the next one.
2 words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal. Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent. Potentially life-changing. That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.